I don't have any slides. I don't do that. They say when you do presentations, it's actually pretentious for you to name drop, is what they say. So 2 weeks ago, I'm hanging out in a bar with Patrick Whelan, right? And in between toasts, he looks over at me and he's like, well, actually, he was having a few beers, I was having a few more. But he says, how does Robinhood make their money? I said, I don't know. He says, you know, if I could make a video on how Robinhood makes their money, I bet you a lot of people would watch it. And I said, yeah, I bet you they would. Well, I don't know how they make the money. I don't know anybody that works there. All I know is kind of how things have come together for me. When I first heard about Robinhood, I was working at Scottrade in Stamford, Connecticut at the time. And I actually got a Robinhood account. I remember when they came out, not because I saw them like on social media or whatever, I got called into conference calls. Scottrade at the time had three what they call business, verticals. Anytime somebody uses a fancy word like vertical, right, whatever. It's three ways that they made money, okay? Like, that's it. So the first way that they did it was obviously the commission-based trading, right? Back then, we were $7.95 a trade. The second way that they made money was money under management, assets under management, wealth managers, right? These are guys that, you pay them money for a percentage, pay them a percentage of assets that they have under management. Third way that they made money was they were actually sweeping cash deposits into a Scottrade bank account, loaning that money out for the interest spread, okay? So I got called into conference calls, Robinhood. Does anybody know who they are? So I started an account. I gotta be honest with you, I liked it. I mean, it worked, right? It's like Tinder for stocks, right? Except it's north-south, right? Like you swipe it up if you want it, you swipe it down if you don't, I mean, right? So I was like, wow, this is kind of cool, and this is great because a lot of people want it. But back then, everybody at Scottrade was like, oh my God, how are they doing this? How are they making money? And at the time, they concluded that it was interest spread. Like the margin that they were charging was less than what they were, Okay. Fast forward years later, talking to Craig Manderson about the job that I took at SpeedTrader 3 years ago. And he's like, do you have any questions for me? And I said, yeah. I said, what do you think of Robinhood? He goes, I think they're smart. A lot of people use it. I was like, yeah, no kidding. Smart. Last year, it was different last year. We were over there, but they put the windows in, so they got us over here now. It's a broker perspective, me and David Afarian. I sat across from him. Another broker who's our competitor had their answers. They got to email them in. So Dave asked me what my answer was, and then of course it flashed, what they said. And topic of Robinhood came up. I don't remember what I said. I was out with Sean McLaughlin the night before, so I don't remember much of the whole weekend. But anyway, guys from Centerpoint said, and look this up, they said it. We don't think Robinhood is too big to fail. We think they're too smart to fail. And I remember saying to myself, that's such a great answer. That should have been my answer. It's a great answer. Because it's true. But again, it goes back to what makes them smart. How do you pay? The app works, everything's great. How do you pay for it? Fast forward to Brian Shannon's conference that he was kind enough to have in Breckenridge, Colorado, 2 miles in the sky, ladies and gentlemen, altitude sickness. I've never been above sea level. It was a tough time for me. Thank you, Brian. But I remember this like it was yesterday because Sean McLaughlin was on the stage, and look this up, right? Sean McLaughlin, and there's no static here. I choose very carefully who I look up to. And I look up to Howard Lindzen, I look up to John Najarian. I think they're great for the community. I think they've done a lot of great stuff. So there's no static, he said it. Sean McLaughlin's next to him, he's got the hat on with the beard. John Najarian's sitting next to him. Topic of Robinhood came up. Again, no static. It's almost like verbally he's shaking hands with Howard in the audience. He says, Howard, he goes, I'm sorry, but I know you have something to do with Robinhood, but I know the people that buy the paper from Robinhood, and they tell me it's the dumbest paper on the street, right? And I perked up. Me being the commission guy, I applauded unusually loud. Tom Bruni shot me a look like, bro, this ain't a frat party, like it's a conference. If you can behave, that'd be fantastic, right? But a couple of words are now sticking out in my brain, right? Smart, buy, dumb, paper, right? So, again, I don't know what's on the paper. I've never seen it. I couldn't tell you. But I could tell you this. I could tell you that if I had a hedge fund, if I had a prop firm where people were trading my money, there are certain metrics that I would look for. And if those metrics were there on that paper, especially if it was in real time, I would trade against it. I would, because that's the world that we live in. So, and as far as, again, what's on it, I don't know. Do I think they're too big to fail? No, I think they're too smart to fail. Do I think they put out a great product? Yes, I do. I'll be honest, because it gets people involved. We're a little bit different. And whenever, as far as the benevolence of the other brokers, you know, like, hey, we're free now. Like, come on. You know, you're free because it's not the benevolence of the butcher or baker that brings you fresh goods. It's their interest in self-preservation, right? So, I mean, you know, the fact that they're free now, they're trying to stay alive. We actually wound up being on an island, and it actually helped us out, and here's why. We don't trade against you. We don't. That's why unapologetically, I charge you a commission. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say unapologetically. Edit that out. I charge you a commission, okay? Because with direct market access, that's what we do, all right? Any trader who's worth his weight in salt knows that fills matter, and the timing of those fills matter just a little bit more. Price improvement, it's awesome when you get it, doesn't always happen, you heard it from me, right? But in terms of direct market access, when you place a limit order, okay, with a market maker, what winds up happening is they get filled by price and time, right? You're not the only one that had this great idea to buy or sell at that particular price, so guess what? Get in line. What we do is we mainline you right on the order book of the exchange, and what that gives you is the opportunity for a faster fill, all right? But I will say this. I will say that I am a fan of what Robinhood has started. I really am. I'm a fan of what the other free brokerages are doing. I think it's a great entry point. Now, Tyler was talking about the herd mentality before. When everybody started going free, I was getting calls and emails, are you guys going free? Are you guys going free? Like, Nicole and I called a realtor, man. Like, we put the house up, you know what I mean? We're like, oh my God, this is the end, you know, what's going on, right? All right, here's the deal. Again, we have relationships on Wall Street that are able to get you locates that you cannot get at the clearing firms of the free guys, right? But I respect that people want free. I think that's great. And I'm all about putting myself on an island. I call it an island because Warren Buffett uses the term moat, and people tell me he's really smart. So I like to build off that and say that I'm on an island. I want to put myself on a bigger island. So how about this? How about, and you heard it from me today, we will be offering, Sprint Trader will be offering a commission-free route in the future. There will be no routing charges on it. There will be no commission on it. Sprint Trader is accepting accounts at $2,500 and up, and what that gives you is the opportunity for everyone who's under the PDT rule to step in and get the locates that you want. Should that be part of your strategy, all right? We want to give you free. We want to help the community in any way that we can. I'm really excited about it. Stay tuned, because it's going to be pretty big. And at the end of the day, I think that we have each other to thank for the environment that we're in. Because if it wasn't for the folks at Trade Ideas and the innovation that they're bringing, if it wasn't for some of the other speakers that are here, trading would be a lot more difficult than it actually is. And nobody wants that, am I right? So if we could all just give a round of applause to Dave and Dan for what they've built with Trade Ideas, I think it's pretty awesome. And now that I've all got you clapping and on my side, sprinttrader.com, all right? Go and check it out. Thank you very much for having me here today. And as per usual, I wish you the very best of luck in the markets. Take care.